What's going on, everybody? Stevie here with another video. I hope everybody's doing well out there and having a fantastic start to the new year. In today's video, we're actually going to be having some guests come onto the channel. I wanted to bring some people on that have been around me over the 4 years of me collecting Arcade1Up cabinets, and I wanted to hear from them some of their favorite games and cabinets that they've played in the Mancave Arcade, past and present. So I got my brother Jason, my cousin Nick, and my cousin Jordan coming onto the channel, and they're going to let us know some of their favorite games and cabinets that they've played down here. We'll kind of touch on if I still have those cabinets or if I had to part with them. We'll touch on some memories, and all in all, we're going to just touch on the fun that we've had within the 4 years of me collecting these Arcade1Up cabinets. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Thanks so much for watching. Let's get it started. What's going on, everybody? Steve V here with another video. Hope everybody's doing well out there. So in today's video, I got some guests, which is a little different than what I normally have on my channel, but I wanted to kind of change it up and kind of get some different perspectives for this video. So I got my two cousins, Jordan and Nick, and I got my brother Jason on the show today, and we're going to talk about the Mancave Arcade over the last 4 years and some of their favorite cabinets and titles that they've played down here, either past or present. So I'll start with my brother Jason, who's here in the chat. What are some of your favorite games that you played in the Mancave Arcade?
So I would have to say the top 5 cabinets that I like in your basement would be Pac-Man for sure. Just because it's like classic and the game is like fun, but it's also hard. So it's challenging and the fact that you have to reach the scores for each person is just like, it's awesome. Then my second one would be Mortal Kombat. The reason why is because it was Steve's first cabinet that he bought. And there's just memories with it, and it was fun to play. My third one would have to be Multicade. When he had it, he had a Pandora box in it, and me and him built it together.
We modified an Asteroids cabinet. I'm not a big mod guy. I don't mod a lot of my cabinets, but early on, I didn't know how many Arcade1Up cabinets I would have, and obviously there were some more games that I wanted that I didn't know if Arcade1Up was going to make. So me and my brother decided to modify an Asteroids cabinet with a Pandora's box, which gives you, hundreds and thousands of games. Unfortunately, I ended up selling that cabinet because I had to make room for some of the other cabinets, but that was a fun mod to do, and yeah, it was definitely an enjoyable cabinet, so I could see how that was one of the ones that you liked.
Yeah, and then my last one, I keep on going back and forth with this one, but I would like to say like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one. That one's pretty sick.
The original one or the new one that I have?
Which one was the original one? The one
so
that's
the original one. The original one. I mean, they're both very similar. Like they're both 4-player cabinets. They both have the same 2 games. But the one that I have now has the ability to play online, and it has a different artwork. It has the turtles on turtles in time artwork. The original one had the original Ninja Turtles artwork, which is like probably the most iconic and classic one.
So I would have to say the Turtles in Time one is cool because the purple art is the one I'm used to seeing. Yeah, it's the one I actually seen in an arcade, so I could see like that's why I like it.
The nostalgia.
Nostalgia,
sure,
yeah.
Nostalgia factor.
Is there any other cabinet? I think you said 5, Jason. You only said 4.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I like the pinball, but the only reason I like the pinball one is because you modded it. If you didn't mod it and it only had the 5 or whatever, there's 10 games on it. I don't think it's that great. I like the Marvel games on it, so
yeah,
that's what I would have
to say that with the 30. Well, I didn't modify it. You modified it with the 30 games. It definitely makes it more enjoyable because obviously the more games you have, the more choice you have as far as what you want to play. The original 10 games that I had on the Attack from Mars were the ones that I wanted the most. So I was okay with the 10, but you convinced me to kind of do the mod, and I'm glad you did because it did make the cabinet more valuable having more games, and it's more enjoyable because, like I said, more options. So thanks, Jace. Yeah, those
Yeah, no
are
worries.
a great 5 cabinets to kind of really actually the 5 cabinets that you picked. Well, not so much the pinball. I guess the 4 cabinets that you picked were cabinets that were a big part of the first year of me kind of collecting Arcade1Ups. That Pac-Man cabinet, the original one, we all had a blast with that one, and we were all trying to beat each other's score, like you mentioned, Jace.
Is Eric the top on the Pac-Man one?
Eric would
Pardon?
shake that machine trying to
Oh
get
yeah,
on.
Eric went nuts with that one.
Was he
Yeah,
number one?
another one of my cousins. He went crazy with that cabinet. And then yeah, the Mortal Kombat, that was the first cabinet I ever got. The Turtles one was like probably the most iconic cabinet I had, and yeah, that one that we modded was pretty cool too because I got to play some games that now I actually own the Arcade1Up version of those games. But at that time, I didn't know if Arcade1Up was going to come out with them, so it was cool having them in my arcade so early on in my collecting. So Jordan, we'll have you next. So
Yeah.
what are some of your favorite cabinets that you've played in the last 4 years of me collecting these Arcade1Up cabinets?
So past and present. So I'll do top three because I like
Okay,
to keep my options narrowed, but in
sure.
no particular order. I would definitely have to say Frogger. Just Frogger's just
Yeah,
one of my favorite arcade games, and just a blast to play. Like when you're using the actual like joysticks and buttons and stuff instead of like a controller. I have it on like the Sega Classics throwback
yeah, yeah,
thing where you use a controller, but it's a lot better on the arcade. It's a better playing experience for sure. So I really dig that one.
yep.
The Attack from Mars pinball. I'm just a big pinball machine fan in general. Doesn't matter how many games or how little games are on it. I just enjoy playing pinball, so that's a good one. And then the third one would be NBA Jam. And I really, really dig the NBA Jam cabinet because of that ability to play other folks online, and
Yeah,
you're not just playing by yourself. You're able to connect and play with other people that have the unit as well.
for sure.
And I guess I'll give an honorary mention. I'll give an honorary mention to Golden Tee just because Golden Tee rips. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so
it's just the
the
playing experience is awesome.
yeah, Golden Tee is definitely a blast. It's one of my favorites. The NBA Jam cabinet, that was a cabinet that I got my second year of collecting, and unfortunately, I ended up selling it. But then ever since I sold it, I always kind of wanted it back. I regretted selling it. So I ended up getting the countercade version for a little while, which was like a smaller, compact kind of bar top.
Yep.
But that didn't cut it for me, so I ended up selling that. And now I got the original NBA Jam cabinet that I originally sold back. So definitely a
Back in the
fun cabinet,
saddle.
and I look forward to playing that cabinet with you next time you're here, Jordan. Me and you, we used to go for walks quite often on the weekend because you live pretty close to me. And once we were back from those walks, we would come in and play some pinball. And I know you really enjoyed Attack from Mars and
Yeah.
Medieval Madness and Tales of Arabian Nights
All
and then
good.
yeah, Frogger. Again, I had that cabinet. I unfortunately had to sell that cabinet due to space, but I got Frogger back because me and you ended up going to pick up a cocktail table that
that's
I
right.
saw on Facebook Marketplace for $500. Which anybody that knows how much those cocktail tables cost, like they're anywhere between $1,500 to $2,000. So to actually find one for $500 was definitely a steal. Especially, I got the higher cocktail table that is basically almost like a pub table, and those ones sometimes run even higher. So the fact that I got that for $500, and it's got Frogger because it's got 60
Yeah.
in one in it, and that Frogger actually has the proper song on it because Arcade1Up had
Oh,
to
it
use a different
does.
song for legal purposes. It's cool having Frogger back, and again having the proper ROM with the proper song. So great choices, Jordan. And yeah, again, a lot of those cabinets that you mentioned, they go back to earlier on in my Man Cave Arcade as well, the second year of my collecting. So So pretty cool that we've kind of touched on some of the past here with some of the cabinets that you guys picked.
Yeah.
So Nick, we'll hear from you next.
Yeah, I'll go for it. Also, it's been Jordan. I think Eric did end up having the high score on Pac-Man at the end of
Did
it
he?
all too. Yeah,
I believe
I think
it.
you did. I think you
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
yeah. To answer that. So for me, definitely there's a top three, but Pac-Man's already been said, and I've got a lot of the same reasons as Jace.
Yep.
You know, it's easy to pick up, hard to master. There's nothing quite like the sweaty palms you get when the ghosts are coming after you, and there's no more power-up pellets, and you're so close to being that high score, but you just never quite get it, and it haunts you a little bit. But
No pun
so because
intended.
pardon?
No pun intended.
That's right.
Yeah.
So because that one's been said, I'll modify my top three a bit. And so one of them would have to be, honestly, Big Buck Hunter. Because you reminded me recently that I was actually there when you set up Big Buck Hunter, and we were not bringing home any meat. Our families would have starved back when you had tons.
We did pretty crappy that first go around, but
that's right.
it was a fun cabinet, and like you said, you were there the day that I got it.
Yeah.
Actually, there's some sentimental connection as far as like me and you playing Big Buck Hunter that day, because that was the day that you actually came over to see my son for the first time. You and your mom came to visit, so you know we had that nice visit. You guys got to meet my son Mateo, and then after that we came down here and tried to shoot a bunch of deer, which we missed constantly. But I've gotten better since then, so yeah, you'll have to come and play it again. But
yeah, see if
what other cabinets are some of your favorites?
So my next one would be I liked Burger Time a lot, and like the game was fun, but honestly, Steve, the cabinet art, it just looked really good in the man cave, in my opinion. I think the cab decoration is top tier in my opinion.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, Chef's kiss, exactly.
Yeah.
That one, I was sad to see that one go, and I think you share similar sentiments, but
yeah, I definitely missed that cabinet. You're right. It had beautiful art, a beautiful cab shape, because it kind of went with the shape of his chef hat at the top. So it was just kind of a different form factor than a lot of the other cabinets that I had down here in the space. And we had a blast playing that game. But now I also have that game on the 60-in-1 cocktail table. So glad I have that game back, but definitely miss having that specific cabinet though, because it was a beautiful looking cabinet.
And then my last one would have to be, so this one's kind of interesting because it was your Star Wars cab, and I remember I would usually come down to your basement, and I always have my keys on my lanyard, and I would just toss them on the cab wheel for the longest time, until one day I eventually decided to play it. I guess that's something else you can do with these things, and it was a blast. It was really different from all the other cabs you had. I loved using like the sort of wheel, just a different tactile experience, and it was a fast-paced game. And I somehow managed to cop a high score on that, and I still don't really know how I managed to do that to this day, because the levels go quick. But I also love Star Wars as a whole, so that one was a fun one for me. I really liked that one.
Yeah, that was a great cabinet. To this day, that was probably the best constructed cabinet from Arcade1Up. Over the last 4 years of my collecting, I've kind of seen them, get better in some aspects, but then there'll be like some little declines in some of the cabinets as well. They haven't quite hit the peak as far as like getting a cabinet 100% perfect. Other than that one, that was the one where they nailed the construction of it, the look of it, the gameplay of it. Like everything was perfect about that cabinet. The only reason I ended up selling it was because I wanted to get a driving cabinet, and unfortunately, Star Wars had to go to kind of provide a space for me to get a driving cabinet. But there was no denying that was probably one of the best cabinets, if not the best cabinet Arcade1Up ever made. And I know not only hearing from you, Nick, how much you enjoyed it when you ended up actually playing it and not just using it as a keychain holder. I also really enjoyed playing it, and I had no nostalgia for that cabinet. That was a cabinet that I literally just bought because it was Star Wars. I knew, obviously, the name because I grew up watching the Star Wars movies. So I'm like, even though I don't know this game because I didn't play it at that time, I played some of the more newer arcade Star Wars games. I still wanted to give it a chance, and I'm glad I did because it did grow on me. And they're actually re-releasing that cabinet. I think there was just a sighting at a Best Buy somewhere here in Canada where there's like these little things that you can grab. I know some other stores have them too for like certain electronics where they don't have the actual thing there, but they have like a little thing that you can grab that you bring
like
up to
card,
the cash.
right?
And they'll go and get it. There was a Star Wars on the thing for somebody to basically pre-order. And it was pretty cool seeing that back in the mix because there's a lot of people that missed out on it that wish they could have got it. So
Nice.
Awesome.
Well, maybe I'll be procuring one, get a new high score.
what was that? Sorry.
Maybe I'll procure one and get a new high score finally.
Yeah,
Start
maybe
my own arcade.
for sure.
Yeah, you gotta top me now, Nick.
But anyways, it's been really nice having you guys here. It's been cool having a little bit of a flashback talking about some of these great cabinets that have made their way through the Mancave Arcade. Unfortunately, a lot of them are gone now, but I've replaced them with either similar cabinets with more games or a cabinet that's somewhat kind of close to the style that the prior cabinet was. Yeah, we've had a blast. I know I've had a blast over the last 4 years collecting these cabinets, and it's been really fun kind of sharing this hobby of mine that I enjoy with you guys and seeing you guys get a little bit of joy out of it too.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Always look
Oh, no
forward to
problem.
it.
Yeah, it's always a good time, man, down in your basement.
Yeah.
Even if we're watching like a hockey game or whatever, it's always a good time.
For sure. Yeah, and you guys are always welcome. You're always welcome to the Man Cave Arcade. So don't be strangers. Feel free to come over. I know me and Jace talked today, and I know you and your girlfriend will be coming over in a couple of weeks. So when you guys come over, we'll definitely have to head down here and play some arcade games.
Oh, for sure. Always down, man.
Okay, well, thanks so much, you guys. I appreciate you guys being on the show today, and definitely fun reminiscing. And I hope you guys out there that are watching this, I hope you guys enjoyed kind of a different kind of video than what I normally do, because normally it's just me kind of talking on my own. So it's nice to have some guests and kind of freshen it up by hearing some different perspectives from some different people. So anyways, take care, you guys. Thanks again, and I appreciate you guys being on the show.
See ya. Take care.
So thanks so much for checking out the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed this chat with my brother and my two cousins. My cousin Jordan is actually the one that composed the song that you hear in the intro of my channel, and he's got a YouTube channel as well. So I'll put the link in the description if you guys want to check out any of his music, because he's a great musician. And all in all, I just hope that you guys really enjoyed this conversation. I wanted to do something a little different because most of the time it's just me talking. So I thought it would be fun to hear some different perspectives and just kind of hear from different people what some of their favorite cabinets are. So it was a really fun conversation. I really enjoyed talking to them, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching as well. Take care, you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.